She's a conservative and I'm liberal, and yet we've been friends for almost 40 years. Everyone says you shouldn't discuss politics, religion, or money, and we say that's exactly what friends should be talking about. Join us as we tackle the conversations you're having in your head, but are too scared to say out loud. Hey, Jolene. Welcome to We've Got to Talk.
Nicole. Welcome to We Have Got to Talk.
So everybody, we're going to cut to the chase here. Today we are talking about Pam Bondi and the Epstein hearings. We are talking about the Munich speeches, Marco Rubio versus J.D. Vance, and really we are talking about an umbrella of decorum. Where has it gone? Where has it gone? Whether it be presidential, whether it be congressional.
I think as you and I first started talking about this, after we saw the Pam Bondi congressional hearing, we were both like, ugh, are you kidding me? I mean, it was just like, I felt like I was watching a junior high debate. But that also lends itself to congressional hearings in general. I think congressional hearings are a joke. I think they're a joke because they're theatrical, they're performative on both sides, and I think they do very little to get to the substantive context of what they're intended to do. So then it made me think more of just the decorum of politicians in general. And I personally think that it has been in decline, and I'm sure that you would agree with me, since Trump became in office. And I think that's because he was a TV personality. He is a big personality. I think he embraced the ability to be able to talk directly to the voters and didn't worry about what he said. He went to Twitter, he went right in, and he spoke on the level of his voters, and people embraced it and they liked it. They didn't like the politicians speak, and so he kept going because it worked for him. But the level of civility has declined, no doubt. So I want to talk about that. So then that made me just think about communication styles in general from presidents. And really, I kind of started with Reagan because that's the first I really remember of, paying attention, and kind of went through and compared from Reagan to Trump. And I have some interesting thoughts on all that.
I would agree with you. I mean, I did watch a lot of the hearings I watched, and I also just explored on YouTube and want to talk about how that is framed. I felt like unless you were looking at, I want the full hearing, and you would get C-SPAN. Otherwise, you'd get all of these rolls. It looked like a video version of the National Enquirer, rageful photographs, explosive titles, getting all of us to be totally enraged and totally pitted up against each other. So, number one, my hot take, the way we are treating each other is out of control. We are modeling horrible, horrible behavior for our children. And I believe that most people are exhausted. That's my hot take, number one. Number two, We actually have no idea how the founding fathers behaved. There were no video cameras. We don't know that they could have been screaming and yelling at each other. We have no idea. But what we do know is, like you said, I totally agree with you, that in these hearings, there is so much theatrics that it's really hard to get to the meat of anything. And I felt like as I was watching it, I want new rules imposed on these hearings. Number one, Pam Bondi would rarely make eye contact. She was always looking at her book to decide what her next burn was going to be. Or no one was listening. The Congress people, even the right and the left, were either this is my script, this is what I'm going to say, this is what I'm going to do. And then she'd be like, oh, Republican, yay. Or, oh, Democrat, burn, burn, burn. And it was no one's listening to each other. And as we do this podcast, I'm like, seriously? And one thing that was fun, I want to shout out to Brad Porteous again, our friend Brad Porteous, who created bridgegrades.org. Because what's fun, you guys, this is an assignment in the middle of our podcast. Here's a great assignment. Whenever a hearing comes up and you guys are interested in watching the hearing, watch the hearing, then pause it and look at the person speaking, and then go to bridgegrades.org and see what their grade is. Because that's what I did. So that when even in the theatrics, you can find, that Republican is actually a B or an A, and they try to work together, and this guy is an F. So whatever's coming out of his mouth, whether he's a Republican or Democrat, he is just there to be theatrical. So I thought that was sort of, in a strange way, a fun game to try to understand this nonsense that we're dealing with, that we're being fed. It's just become really clear that most media is about entertainment now. We've forgotten the journalism. We've forgotten what it's about. And so when you look on YouTube and you see like Democrats grill Pam Bondi, and then she's like, ah, like it's a horrible photograph of her. You know, these blinking lights to make you react, to make you continue. It's like I would think about as being a little girl standing in the supermarket line and seeing those crazy tabloids.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that's bananas. Like,
Right.
but that's now our video reality. And what we've talked about in previous episodes, there's an enormous amount of younger voters that only get their news from social media. And I think this is a deep purple issue right now. Because I believe, if we're going to put a color on it, deep purple, that it's like, both sides are like, are you kidding me?
Enough is enough.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Would you agree or disagree with this? That I think that congressional hearings should not be televised. Like no cameras in the room. Would that prevent some of this? Because it's really made for entertainment, the way it's set up, right?
Sure,
I mean, you've got this panel, you've got this panel up here, you've got the one person right in the middle, and all the cameras are back behind her, getting there, and cameras are down in front of her, facing her. I mean, they're wanting to get it from I would think from, as an actor, you're like, this is a beautiful little production.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But here's the thing. Like, this is for the people. So we have to see it in some way. I want more rules. I want to shut this shit down.
But how do you do that? How would you do it? What rules would you like to see?
Okay, let's see. You know what would be really interesting? It would never fly. But I'm just going to go for it. Ready? No one gets notes. Nobody.
You can't bring any visual aids in.
You can't bring any notes. No notes. No notes. And you get like a game show. You get, let's say in your 5 minutes, you have 2 staff members that you can call, I need some help.
Phone a friend.
Phone a friend. Because seriously, because this is part of the problem. Everyone is so scripted.
Don't you think, though, that if they took the cameras away and they took the reporters away and it was a meeting, you could have the transcripts after the meeting from, you know, a transcriber that was sitting in there. But if you took away all of the production quality that it's set up right now, that maybe you wouldn't get her going through her burn book. Because make no mistake, she was performing, Pam Bondi was performing for one person.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
And it was Trump.
Absolutely.
She was doing, I'm sure she was doing exactly what he wanted her to do. And that was, I mean, and I don't know her. I have not followed her, so I don't know what she's like. I know that she came to fame because she was a staunch Trump supporter from as the Attorney General in Florida.
Here we go. Pam Bondi served as a member of Trump's legal defense team during his first impeachment trial in 2020 and acted as a close advisor and personal attorney for him in various capacities. She later became a vocal supporter, helping to spread claims about the 2020 election before being appointed to the Trump administration.
I think she was performing for Trump. I think she was doing exactly what she was asked to do, and or what she would think that her boss would want her to do.
Well, one of the things I read, Jolene, is that, and I don't know if you've heard this as well, that the staff members, like, that he's texting them to give her responses in real time, too.
Oh, God. Okay.
Which I could imagine, because of course he's watching. Of course he's watching and, like, praising who's doing a good job and who's not doing a good job.
So here's what I think is going to be interesting is if we're all getting to the point where we're sick of the theatrics and the mean talk and the lack of civility, is this going to change? You and I have talked about this a little bit. Is this going to change for the 2028 election? Because I see Gavin Newsom talking just like Trump. When he was interviewed in Davos, Switzerland, Gavin Newsom, he sounded so much like Trump. I mean, he sounded like he was off the cuff, just saying, really.
Well, I remember he was like, everybody needs knee pads.
Again, I want to say unprofessional or, the civility is out the window, but it's almost like this guttural reaction to things instead of thinking things out thoroughly and saying the right thing. But is that what people want?
I had heard about this Munich speech that Marco Rubio gave. And I remember, like, I was like, oh, right, J.D. Vance gave it a year ago. I never saw it at the time. So I was like, here I am watching, like, all this Pam Bondi stuff. And then I was like, I'm going to watch this Marco Rubio thing. Because clearly what I was hearing in the media was that there was a distinct, like, praise and shift in tone that the European Union was like, oh. So I was like, I need to watch this, right? So
there's an adult in the room,
right? So I texted you afterwards because it's 20 minutes, and I encourage everyone, Republican, Democrat, liberal, conservative, independent, you name it, watch this speech. He was very direct. He wasn't candy coating. It was like, speaking of theatrics, or everything's theater, right? And that's how I look at everything. I'm like, okay, what is happening here? And so here he is with a live audience of leaders. And you could feel the tension as soon as he got on stage. You could feel people holding their breath. Then he started to speak. And then he said at one point, and we need you. We need you to be strong. And all of a sudden, you could feel it, sensitiva over here. Whoa. And it was like the room went, okay.
When he said, we belong together.
Yes.
We are connected spiritually and culturally.
And we are born, we came from Europe. And the way he explained what the approach was, even I, as a liberal, was like, well, that makes sense. And I like how your tone is. I want to trust you. I feel safer with you, right? I'm like, so this is what a grown-up does. This is what I remember when I was a kid. It was like, you didn't feel like, oh gosh, are we all going to die? Necessarily, right? And then I went, and I immediately texted you, and I was like, whoa. And in my opinion, Republicans, that's your candidate. That's your candidate. Because then I went back and I watched the J.D. Vance speech, and that to me was like the mean girl version, but the boy version. He was like, beep, beep, beep. Like, and also to me, it was a personal agenda for him. Like, he was going to talk about the things that mattered to him. Not necessarily.
Well, and to Trump.
Like,
he was the voice of Trump in that room.
But there was there was a very evangelical lens. There was also a very, like, shamey, mean boy lens. And I was like, oof. And no wonder a year ago Europe was like,
uh-oh. Right.
What?
No, I thought it was fantastic. The first time I remember Marco Rubio speaking is he had the Republican response to, was it Obama's? It must have been Obama's State of the Union address. And bless his sweet little heart, he was so nervous that he had to take a drink of water in between. Do you remember that? Maybe it wasn't on your radar. And this was, I think, kind of his kickoff to his presidential aspirations. And the poor guy there were memes about him and everything about how nervous he was. Well, I noticed that in this Munich speech. Again, like, there were times that his, and maybe, in fact, I think I even read somewhere that he has some, like, it's a bit identified as a disorder or something, that you get really nervous or you get dry mouth or, whatever it is. And I noticed it in the speech too. And I thought, come on, buddy, you're going to have to rein that in before the 28 campaign if you're going to be able to give these speeches. So anyway, yes, it was really refreshing. He was the adult in the room that we hadn't seen in a long time. I mean, even if you talk about Trump's first 4 years and you're like, the way that he spoke. And then you had Biden, who didn't know where he was and gave some speeches that were just not even coherent. And you're like, okay, finally, we've had a dry spell here of Decorum.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I didn't read it so much as nerves. He's much more soft spoken, and you know what? Be nervous. Like, I want a human being. Like, that was the refreshing part. It was like, oh, we could work with this. I mean, he's an old school Republican. I am shocked that he's in the Trump administration. I think we all were when he agreed to be in it. But
everyone loved him. I mean, he got bipartisan support for being in the Trump administration.
I think people,
right?
I think people are a little relieved because he's got a level head. And I would agree with you, Jolene, about Gavin. I honestly think he's a good guy. I think he's absolutely a politician for sure.
Yeah.
That said, I think if he wants to really be heard by, I don't know if he'll be heard by the right, but even by the left, this punching stuff doesn't work. This macho stuff doesn't work. I'm not saying don't fight and don't stand up for what you believe, but I mean, as Michelle would say, Michelle Obama, don't go low. I think we're all so tired of this. Don't go low anymore. The public is ready for it. Yes, you're going to have the extreme on the right and the left. We've talked about this before. Who like all the vitriol.
I mean, I really think it's a chicken or egg thing here. I mean, it's what we've talked about with our friend Brad Porteous.
Yeah.
Are the people who say the most outrageous things getting the attention because they're performative, and outrage performs better than restraint?
Right.
Or is it that then those people who are doing the right things and doing it the right way, they don't get the publicity, and so then we don't know who they are? Which is better to lead with? And are we going to know who these people are if they're not saying things that get the attention from social media?
Right.
I think the other thing is that, and maybe this is part of why Trump won, was that he was speaking the way most Americans speak. He takes away the elitism. He takes away, I mean, he's more like, even though he is elite,
I was going to say,
he speaks to the language of the working class. And so there were more people who were like, yeah.
But here's the thing, Jolene. Trump is a master at reading the room.
Yeah.
He just is. And you can't learn that. And I think that's why he is where he is. He can speak to anybody.
But so did Bill Clinton. I mean, if we go back
maybe that's
now
true.
And you look at Bill Clinton was the master of, I feel your pain. And that was good, wasn't it?
It's really good.
He could read a room. Man, he could
Yes.
speak to the elites. He could speak to, Arkansas farmers. He could speak to and everybody in between. The Black community loved him.
Yep.
He spoke to, whites in Washington, D.C. loved him. I mean, he could read the room.
Absolutely. And I think that's, it's a very good point. And I'm not sure if we have a candidate out there yet. That, I think, is what everyone wants. And I think it's because people want to be seen. They want to belong. They want to feel heard. And that's something that we've talked about before, that Trump did speak to more of Americans. He was seeing that certain populations had been ignored. Mm-hmm. And the Democrats ignored those populations, did not do a good job at saying, I feel your pain, as Bill Clinton would say. And I think, Trump is such a force. It will be really interesting when he's out of office, because so much of the argument is against Trump versus the policy.
Yeah, right. Unfortunately, I don't think he's ever going to be out of office, because now he's the chairman of the Board of Peace. And so he will be like the ruler of the world. I honestly think that's what this whole Board of Peace thing, he wants to be the ruler of the world.
Lord help
president
me.
Was good enough, but now I want to rule the world.
Yes. He's also not going to be alive forever. But it doesn't seem like he's going anytime soon. I don't know.
So I think there is a difference between authenticity and bluntness.
Yes.
I think we all want the authenticity. We want someone to speak to us on our level, and whatever. Obviously, that has to transcend all levels. From the smartest of the smart to the the people who just want to have a president help them out a little bit, but the bluntness and the lack of civility is the thing that I think is what we're talking about.
Well, and I think Gavin does have qualities of this. And I do think Marco Rubio has qualities of this now that I've seen that speech. You can be direct and authentic and compassionate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't think that that's a red or blue issue. I think we all want that.
Are we going to prioritize, though, substance over style? Are we going to say, okay, Gavin Newsom, you are good looking and you're fun to listen to, and oh, look at him, versus he's been a crappy governor of California. So, I mean, I'm sorry, that's my opinion.
I know that's your opinion.
And so, are we going to, what's the priority? Like,
I think style is so, unfortunately, runs our world. Mm-hmm. Social media lives by it, right?
Yeah,
it's
right.
all about what it looks like versus what is authentic. So I do think that there could be a backlash to that, like what we're talking about, that we are so exhausted and we want authenticity. Yeah. We see through the style.
Okay, can I ask you this as a liberal woman? Are women judged more harshly than men when they are speaking strongly? Because if a man speaks that way, he's strong and he's forceful, but a woman could be unstable and unhinged.
Absolutely, I do. I mean, listen, the way Pam Bondi was acting was so crazy, and it bummed me out because I was like, you're the Attorney General of the United States, and you're a woman. And there haven't been many of us. And I'd like to have a more professional woman up there. Because you are representing us in some way. This is a personal story that I'm going to tell you that happened yesterday. We had an issue with our HVAC system, and we've had an issue for it. Like, there's this one unit, it's been broken 4 times in the last 2 months. Like everybody, this is a pet peeve that I know we all have. These service people give you a 3 to 4 hour window. You're like waiting all day, like your day is ruined, yada, yada, yada. So this person comes and he's been here 4 times. And Josh is not here, so I'm by myself. And I'm working, but he's like 20 minutes after the window was supposed to end. And he's been very friendly to me. So he's sort of like very casual about fixing this HVAC. Long story short, he walks in, and I'm very cold to him because I've had it. And I then hear, because my house is tiny, I'm downstairs working on this episode, and I hear him on the phone. And he's chatting with, it might be a colleague, but and I'm like, I've been waiting for 4.5 hours now. And you haven't fixed this, Linda, fucking HVAC. And so I go upstairs to get a power cord, just really to see what the fuck he's doing. And he's just like, ba, 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 laughing, ha, 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 ha. But he sees me, and immediately he gets off the phone. I mean, it's a tiny house. There's no way that he doesn't hear me, right? So I go back downstairs, and then he comes downstairs, and I look at him, and I'm sitting down, and I say, I'm really angry. And he goes, oh. And I go, this has been a really frustrating experience. And I was in this tone.
Okay.
And I said, one thing I hate is my time being wasted. This is the 4th time, blah, blah, blah. And I saw his eyes deaden. Like, it was wild. And I'm thinking to myself, he's not listening to me. The reason I bring this up is I'm like, and I've called and no one does anything. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, you are just shut down because I'm a woman. I'm this crazy woman because I'm mad that this hasn't been fixed. And he just looks at me and he goes, would you like me to leave?
Oh my gosh.
And I go, no, I'd like you to fix it. And then I would like you to leave.
Oh my.
And I had so much rage. And Josh is at a conference, and I called him, or he called me when I was in the grocery. And I was just like, babe, I know you can't possibly know what this feels like, but it really sucks when you feel like if you stand up for yourself, that you are being irrational. Because I was like, I just kept thinking, what would it feel like if you were the one saying this to him, not me? And so I do think we are absolutely held to a higher standard, that when we even get bitchy, that we're not allowed to. And I'm like, that's so not cool. Pam Bondi, extreme. That was like, lady, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Man, woman, or child should never act like that. It was just like, no. But yes, I do think we're held to a higher standard. Do you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely do. I don't see it as clearly black and white as women and men. Obviously, there's a bigger issue.
That's what I was thinking with Pam Bondi. She's so in over her head. And when people are in over her head, they start screaming.
Yeah.
If you watch, I mean, not just the little edited snippets that everyone wants you to watch to get mad, but I was watching a lot of it just to see the stuff that possibly wasn't edited, because it wasn't as sexy and exciting. She would just start screaming for no reason.
This was interesting because I do think that there is something to be said for women versus men. I do think there's something to be said for the civility and decorum of our politicians right now. But I think it's going to be interesting to see, have we reached our breaking point with the way that politicians speak to us, and in turn, we are speaking to each other? And is that driven by social media and the clicks and the rage bait that we've talked about? Or is it being driven because that's how we want to be related? You know, we want to hear our politicians be relatable and be like we're talking to our buddies, you know, at a bar. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, I remember like there was always this idea with George W. when he was running. Is like, I want to have a beer with him. And I'm like, I want someone that runs the country. But I also think that we've bumped up against this phenomenon with We've Got to Talk, where we're in this culture where the rage bait, the clickbait is what sells. But you and I have said to Brianna, our producer, like, I know this is counterintuitive to how the podcast world works and how social media works, but we actually want to spread a message that's different. Not like kumbaya, everybody, but like, hey, we're trying to model something where we can disagree and we can still be respectful, kind, loving, funny, all the things. That's a really hard pivot. It's even hard for us because we're so ingrained in this world to be combative. And even our audience sometimes does not know what to do with our podcast because they're like, right? And we've had it with our communities. Like, why aren't you telling Jolene this? Or why aren't you telling Nicole this? And I'm like, because we are trying to be the egg.
Oh, not the chicken. I see what you did there.
That's what I'm thinking.
We're the good eggs.
We're the eggs birthing a new idea, a new chick. Do you have a would you rather, my darling?
Would you rather,
Yes.
Nicole, be on a congressional hearing on the panel grilling Pam Bondi with 6 of your closest friends, or go to lunch with Pam Bondi, just the 2 of you?
Jolene, you are the board of directors of Would You Rather questions. You are the board of peace. You are like the empress of the world of Would You Rathers. You are so good at this. I want to go to lunch with her.
Oh, I'm so glad you
go to
said
lunch with her.
that, because that's exactly what this whole thing was about.
I want to go to lunch with her.
Like, do you want to have a team with you that you can go,
It doesn't work,
you know?
right? And I'm not going to get an authentic Pam Bondi. Because you know what? There were moments I really did feel for her. I really did. I mean, bear with me, audience. You watch this person that's under directive of this man, and like, I wonder if we'd go to lunch and she'd start crying. Like, I am exhausted.
Nicole, you don't know how hard my job is.
I want out and I don't know how to get out, or you know, can't someone like give me a break, or doesn't everyone know that this is really hard, or I'm in over my skis or whatever? Like, I want to have the real conversation, because I don't think she's going to sit there at lunch with me and go like that whole like with the Pam Bondi mad face. And like you said, these are stages of theatrics. And I also fantasized about being on that panel and just asking questions very differently and literally asking the question. All right. This is more esoteric, I suppose. Would you rather be unable to close any door once it's opened, or be able to open any door once it's closed?
I think I want to open any door that is closed.
I'm with you.
Right? And then you're just going to have to deal with those doors that are opened and you can't close them. You're just going to have to deal with them. But maybe you open a different door and that helps you deal with the draft that's coming from that door that you can't close. God, that's deep. That's deep.
It's deep. It's deep.
Wow.
All right, doll.
Okay.
Thank you for today. I was really excited about talking about this subject.
Well, thank you, listener and viewer, for sticking with us on this. And if you like what you've heard, please share it, subscribe. We're on all of the we're on all the platforms:
Yep.
Apple, Spotify, YouTube.
Yep.
Please join us every week
Yes.
on We've Got to Talk. And if you've got suggestions for us, we would love to hear from you. Reach out on our website, we'vegottotalk.com. And or DM us on Instagram.
Yep.
We always love those. Let us know.
Yep. Thank you so much, Jolene. I will see you in a moment.
They're
Bye,
good.
you guys.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
We've Got to Talk is produced across the world by the wildly talented, creative, and hilarious team at Bambi Media. Our theme song is Jump Jive Swing by Space Train Unlimited. Thank you so much for listening, and join us every week for another episode of We've Got to Talk.